Misalignment. It's one of those insidious forces that can absolutely derail an executive in their first 90 days on the job. It's the problem of the shadow stakeholders, the ones not on the organizational chart. Don't go anywhere. We're going to shine a light on those backdoor influences, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Alicia Couri, the CEO of Audacious Concepts Inc. We're a boutique leadership advisory firm specializing in helping leaders accelerate their time to impact in their first 90 days in a leadership role and helping their teams become higher performing, results driven by improving communication, collaboration, and cooperation. Now let's dive back into misalignment. Let's say a new executive joins and they complete their onboarding tour, meet all the heads, finance, product, HR, sales. They're using the organizational chart as their guide. They check the boxes, shake the hands, schedule the follow ups. By the end of their first month, they're thinking, I've covered my bases. I know all the players. Then, boom, they attempt to roll out their first big initiative and things go sideways. Decisions get relitigated, teams push back, information across departments are siloed, and cross functions become uncooperative. Then the Slack channel lights up with side conversations. The new leader feels blindsided. But what's really happening is they fell into the trap of the shadow stakeholder. The shadow stakeholder doesn't show up on the organizational chart. Oh no. These are the people who hold the below the surface influence, sometimes quietly and rarely in ways that match their title. What could this look like? Okay, so when that new executive joined and they're given that org chart and they look at it thinking that they've covered their bases, what they've missed are the founder's old right hand. Maybe they were the first ever employee. They may not even have an official title anymore, but they carry deep relationships and still has the ear of the decision maker. Think Nigel from Devil Wears Prada, right? He always had Miranda's ear. Next, it's that long tenured employee who thought the job should have been theirs and now quietly undermines this new leader through backdoor conversations and subtle sabotage. If you're an Office fan, you'll see Roy Anderson all over this one. And finally, the political player that everyone tiptoes around, the one people fear because of their gossip, their back channels, or their ability to quietly stall progress. Regina George from Mean Girls comes to mind. And none of these people, none of them show up on an organizational chart. But if they're not identified and engaged early, they can derail this new executive's momentum before it even begins. And this isn't just a nuance. This can get really expensive. McKinsey has found that 70% of large scale transformations fail not because of poor strategy, but because of stakeholder resistance and lack of alignment. And if you've ever read the book No Ego by Cy Wakeman, you'll already know that workplace drama, the gossip, resistance, and back channel politics cost US companies $500 billion every single year. That's $500 billion, and most of it is fueled by shadow stakeholders working behind the scenes. Now, let's talk about what the typical fix that organizations try to implement looks like, but they don't have the desired effect. First, they try to align everyone by copying everyone on emails, thinking if we keep everyone in the loop, no one will feel left out. But flooding inboxes isn't alignment. It just creates more noise. Second thing they try is they hold town halls. Big stage, lots of people, open Q&As. The problem with that, in a crowd, shadow stakeholders don't show their cards. Many nod politely in public and resist in private. The third one, they may rely on the strength of the organizational chart itself. But organizational charts show reporting lines, not influence lines. And influence is what makes or breaks execution. That's why you can have meetings, town halls, and dozens of email threads and still find your initiative dead on arrival. So, to all those CEOs, CFOs, COOs, or business owners that, if at this point you find yourself nodding, it's because you've experienced this before. On the surface, things may look aligned. Meetings are happening, updates are shared, but underneath, resistance is brewing. Quiet conversations are happening, and before long, the executive you just invested in looks ineffective. That's the pain of shadow stakeholders. It's not loud, it's not obvious, but it's relentless. And it burns trust, it stalls initiatives, and it silently taxes your business until the cost is undeniable. If I told you there's a different approach, instead of more meetings or emails, your new leader can effectively navigate hidden power structures and align with them in their first 90 days, would that be of interest to you? Because that's exactly what we work with new leaders inside Apex 90. Because alignment isn't just about the people on the org chart, it's about the people who actually move the needle. For more tips on team alignment or new leader acceleration, go to our website, audaciousconceptsinc.com, and reach out if you have a new leader chasing way too many priorities and not being effective in their role because of shadow stakeholders. I'll see you next time.